The 2022 tournament in Qatar was a logistical first, a World Cup hosted in the Middle East during the winter months. It also marked the final chapter for the 32-team format that had defined the competition since the late 90s. For Lionel Messi, the stakes were personal. At 35 years old, this was the final realistic attempt to capture the single trophy missing from his career. Look at the tournament bracket. 32 teams arrive, and over exactly 4 weeks, the field compresses to a single winner. The single elimination format means it only takes one 90-minute lapse to shatter a championship campaign. And that volatility surfaced on day 3. Saudi Arabia, ranked 51st in the world, deployed a dangerously high defensive line to suffocate the Argentine attack, securing a 2-1 victory. Upsets quickly cascaded across the group stage. Japan secured comeback victories against both Spain and Germany to finish first in their group, while the Germans were sent home early. For Argentina, the math was now simple. That opening loss erased their margin for error. To survive the group stage, they had to treat every subsequent match as a sudden death final. There was no going back. By the time the knockouts began, the illusion of safety was gone. The surviving heavyweights realized they were in a bracket where historical reputations offered no protection. The knockout stage is a crucible, where tactical mistakes are punished immediately, and the physical toll of the schedule begins to drain the remaining squads. Morocco leaned into that friction. They executed a defensive masterclass to eliminate Spain on penalties and then held their ground to send Portugal home in the quarterfinals. With those wins, Morocco became the first African and Arab nation in history to reach a World Cup semifinal. Their run proved that tactical discipline and momentum could break the historic hold European and South American teams have had on the Final Four. On the other side of the bracket, France was building a dynasty. Led by the scoring of Kylian Mbappé, they moved through Poland, England, and Morocco, aiming to become the first nation to win back-to-back titles in 60 years. Argentina's path was far more erratic. They barely survived a foul-heavy quarterfinal against the Netherlands, requiring a penalty shootout after blowing a late 2-goal lead. On December 18th, inside the 88,000-capacity Lusail Stadium, the final was set. The defending champions against a team fighting to fulfill a career-long narrative. This was a match between two different stages of greatness. Mbappé, at 23, was chasing a repeat championship, while a 35-year-old Messi was playing for the only title his career lacked. For the first 70 minutes, Argentina dictated the match. They pressed high and neutralized a French midfield that looked sluggish and disconnected. Messi converted a penalty in the 23rd minute, putting Argentina in control of the scoreboard. 13 minutes later, they doubled that lead. A counterattack carved through the French defense, ending with Ángel Di María slotting the ball into the net. France was struggling to even participate. By the 70th minute, they still hadn't registered a single shot on goal. In a typical final, a 2-0 lead at the stage signals a closed outcome. The trailing side rarely has the energy to mount a response. But in the 80th minute, a penalty handed France a lifeline. Mbappé converted it, and the certainty of an Argentina win vanished. Exactly 97 seconds later, the ball found Mbappé again. He fired a volley into the bottom corner, tying the game at 2-2. The match moved to extra time, where both exhausted squads had to reset. In the 108th minute, Messi scrambled a rebound over the line to reclaim the lead. 10 minutes later, Mbappé answered again. A penalty in the 118th minute allowed him to complete a hat trick, forcing the game into a shootout. This relentless back-and-forth scoring broke every statistical model for a final. What began as a controlled performance turned into a test of psychological stamina. In the shootout, Argentina's Emiliano Martinez deflected France's second attempt. His team converted all their remaining penalties to secure a 4-2 victory. The tournament ended with 172 total goals, the highest in the event's history, while the final reached an audience of 1.5 billion television viewers. When Lionel Messi lifted the trophy, he ended a 36-year wait for his country, concluding a tournament that broke records for scoring and global engagement.